Welcome to the hunt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Huntcast Podcast, episode number 20, coming to you August the 18th. We apologize, we missed a week. We were busy.
Yeah.
It's been a long 2 weeks since the last one. And no one told us if you like the morning show better or if you like the afternoon show better. But, so we missed a little bit of IBO, so we're not going to go over that. That was last weekend, and the only one that I know for sure that I know on a personal level, you've heard me mention her name a couple times, Claire Smith. She did win the Cub class by a lot. So she's got her belt buckles, and I saw a picture the other day. She was rocking it with her pair of jeans. So congratulations to her. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next class for sure. She'll be making money well before she's 18.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just one of those kids that has the ability. But the last time we talked about old Mr. John Budley.
Yeah.
And I called something, and I was right on the first one, and I was really, really sure I was right on the second one, and he screwed me. So, yeah. Doug, where did old John go?
He went back home.
Back home, as he says.
Yep, back home to Hoyt.
Went back to Hoyt.
So, not a shock.
No.
I mean,
it just...
signs were pointing towards
G5. Prime, right.
Right.
Yep.
But when it came out that he was going back to Hoyt, I wasn't shocked over it.
No. And the thing that threw me off was because he helped design the new broadhead with G5.
Right.
I figured, okay, they're letting him tinker over there.
Right.
They're going to let him tinker over here with Prime, and it didn't happen. So,
yeah.
So Mr. Dunley's back to the Hoyt realm. So
yep.
I'm sure we'll see a whole bunch of stuff coming out from Hoyt next year.
Yeah, that's just it. It won't be this year.
Yeah, no.
Any of the knock-on stuff won't be till next year.
No, unless they throw like a VTM knock-on version. Just throwing some decals on it to get
just to
something quick.
Yeah.
But anything that I think he's going to touch is going to be late 25, early 26.
Yeah.
And John, if you want to send us the contract, we can look at it and verify. But
yeah,
no. So no, good for him. He's a good dude. So I thought for sure if he went to Prime, that would definitely help Prime a lot.
No doubt.
But yeah, is what it is.
Yeah.
Gotta have the checks that aren't made out of rubber. So.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would have loved to see him go to Prime, but
yeah.
But that's just for selfish reasons. Myself, But not good for him.
Yeah.
So,
it'll be interesting. So him and Cam are over there on that side of the world anyway, not including their target guys, but
yeah,
on the hunting side. So you got Waddell, you got Munt, you got T-Bone, you got Cam, and now you got Dudley.
That's a pretty good stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they breed them pretty well over there.
Yeah, it's a good stable. So, no, they'll do, listen, not that Hoyt needed any help to begin with.
No.
But.
Well, I don't want to say they needed help, but things definitely haven't been going their way over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think this will help draw some folks away from other bows for sure.
Yeah. Well, as long as they do what Dud wants to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything
sounds great on paper, but once you start to get into a boardroom and you start butting heads.
Yep.
Because John's not the kind of guy who's going to compromise.
No.
So this is the way I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like it,
we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll go somewhere else. Just whatever. But yeah, he's not the kind of guy that's going to compromise and kind of conform to the to the corporate.
No, and then
corporate world. So
I can 100% self-proclaimed issues that we've had with Hoyt know how butting heads can possibly be with him. So
yeah.
John, praying for you, pal. But,
yeah. Now, granted, he's got a little more pull than you do.
Yeah.
He toes a little more weight than you do.
What are you saying?
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I think when you sign a guy like that, you're kind of okay. This is your baby. You do what you got to do.
Right. Well, I think that's part of the reason why he went back there.
Yeah,
is because they need help. that side of it. Not so much like, hey, we need somebody else as a face of the company.
Right.
We need help in the factory and designing.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that went to the Stratus, the target bow. There was a lot of complaints about the cam system and this, that, and the other thing.
Okay.
And like the RX-8, which was their new carbon version.
Yeah. Some
people were complaining about that. So I think that's part of the reason they were like, hey, we can do something. Let's figure this out and we'll get you back home.
Yeah. And listen, they've got that company is stable and got enough cash to do whatever they need to do. So
yeah, when you're owned by Easton, there's a lot of money floating around over there.
Yeah. So listen, hopefully it works out good, and we see some good products.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of bigger named bow companies, you guys may have heard this on other podcasts about what we're going to talk about next. And I really can't wait to get into the subject because, man, was it a fun week for me. But so we're going to talk about the other big name, Matthews. And everybody knows I despise Matthews. At least if you know me personally, know that I despise Matthews.
Yeah.
And not for making, I don't even know how to word this. I don't like them because they're a marketing company that makes bows. And when you come from the inside of this industry, I actually just had a conversation with somebody, I'm going to leave them nameless, who works with Matthews on a quite daily basis, confirmed that they are a marketing brand that makes bows.
Yeah.
So that made me feel better. But what we're going to talk about is they sent a letter out to their dealers. And MFJJ talked about this Monday?
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
On Monday.
On the tailgate of his truck.
Yep, sitting on the tailgate of his truck.
Yeah, that's the video I saw.
And
he actually produced the letter that they sent to all the dealers.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I will get into because I did screenshot it. I do have it. But they basically extended their lifetime warranty to secondhand buyers.
Yeah.
Because they know their product can fail.
Yeah.
Now, the reason this is extremely touchy for me right now is because I made a post on my personal Facebook page and said, I think it's funny that a company has to extend their quote unquote lifetime warranty because they know what they built doesn't work. Never put a name in there, never put a brand in there. I could have been talking about a washer.
You could have. Everybody knew exactly what you were talking about. So, yeah, no, I get that. We all knew exactly what you were talking about.
So, no, that's all I said. I didn't badmouth anybody. I didn't say anything, negative. I just said I thought it was funny. Well, that brought all the fanboys out that day.
Yeah.
So, we're going to dig into this a little bit because Doug does not come from the industry. I come from the industry. And the reason I made the comment I made was not to be negative, but if you are a multi-million-dollar company, there's better ways to go about this than, well, let's just warranty the crap out of it, and then when it breaks, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
So, basically, the letter stated, and let me go this route first. This would be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, okay, while you look for that,
Go ahead.
I'll throw my 2 cents into that. So I get what you're saying about, fix it. So I guess the other way to go about this, instead of extending the warranty for for life, do a recall, narrow it down to, okay, it's this batch. So it's from this serial number to this serial number. We have an issue. Let's recall all those bows, fix them, and send them back to the customer.
Right.
I get that. That would work. But it's a very small percentage of the bows that are failing.
Right.
So you're going to spend, you could spend millions of dollars doing that, shipping them, every bow back and fixing them and sending them. So the point is, you could be fixing a perfectly good bow that doesn't need fixing.
Right. It's a possibility. And so we'll get more into that, because I'm glad Doug brought it up that way, because I found out some information with the person that I talked to.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the letter states on Matthew's letterhead, "Dear valued retailer, as you are aware, we have encountered an increase in lift limb warranty outside of our normal range. These findings completely contradict the testing and results during the development and production of the lift. It has taken an all-out sprint by myself and our entire team to first identify the cause and second, fix the issue. We have accomplished both. Our solution has been implemented internally, but we understand you will continue to work through this face-to-face with some customers. I want to personally apologize to you and your customers for the inconvenience this has caused and let you know that my team and I stand with you and with our customers. While we are confident the majority of lift owners will never experience an issue, I have made the decision to extend our lifetime warranty to also include a pass-down warranty to future second-hand buyers on all lift limbs. I want to thank you for your communication and helpful feedback through this time. We believe that the lift is the pinnacle of archery technology, and we will ensure every customer is quickly taken care of and supported. Sincerely, Matt McPherson." So, they have a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
They extended it.
Right.
Here's the problem, number one, that I have with this. So, they will ship limbs to a retailer to replace, but they do not cover the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So me being a bow shop, customer comes in, I got to put his bow in the press, take it all apart, put the new limbs on, restring it, retune it, all this stuff. They are not paying for that.
No.
So now how does a guy in a dealer's shoes go, well, I know you just spent $3,000 on this bow and you shot it 10 times and the limb broke.
Right.
But I got to charge you $300 to fix it.
Right.
Not going to sit well with the customer.
Can't do that.
So obviously now this dealer has to eat his time in the shop.
Yes.
Okay, so that's my first problem with it.
Yep.
Secondly, somewhere along the line this will happen or else you wouldn't extend the warranty. So saying that a customer may never experience it is kind of like a hidden lie. Because if you extended the warranty to a secondhand buyer, you have that gut feeling that it's going to break at some point.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
I think what that is saying, because they're not all going to break.
Right.
Not everyone is going to break. Right. So I think what that does is it just gives the guy, the customer some kind of confidence that, okay, I have no problem owning this bow because I know down the road when something happens, they got my back. Unlike Athens, that, that lifetime warranty went out the window because Athens doesn't exist. So it just gives you some confidence moving forward. I think that's the only reason for it. I don't think they know every one of them is going to, have an issue, because everyone's not going to have an issue. It's a very small percentage. Right. I mean, if they have if they produce 100 bows, 100 lifts, 2, maybe 3. I don't know the numbers, but is it 2 or 3%? Well, so I don't know what it is.
There's been a lot of different in different groups of dealers.
Yeah,
where some guys have replaced 15 of them already.
Yeah,
some have only done 1 or 2.
Right.
So saying, because there was somebody from Matthews that stated it's 3% of the bows.
Okay.
So if it's 3%, one dealer has 15, and another dealer has this, and it's more than 3%. But if they know, so the quote unquote story is it's 70 and 80 pound limbs.
Okay.
It was a specific production batch of limbs.
Okay.
So this is where this aggravates me with the warranty.
Yeah.
You're telling people it's 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you made 1,000 bows.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 300 bows. Right?
Yep.
So in your production book, you know what serial numbers those batched limbs went on. So you either, one, get a hold of those dealers and say, hey, we realize there's a possibility that the 5 70-pound lifts you received may have issues with the limbs.
Mm-hmm.
if you still have them in stock, send them back and we'll swap the limbs out.
Okay.
If not, we will offer a voluntary recall to your customer that if they would like to send the bow back, we'll swap out the limbs. So now they're not spending a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because it's up to the customer to, hey, you know what? I haven't had any problems.
Yeah.
Now, supposedly, this is all happening within like the first 50 shots.
Okay.
So,
and then, you know, that's the one thing I do want to say that I'm not a Matthews guy, so I don't know all the details, and I'm not on a Matthews page, Facebook page. So I don't follow Matthews news. They haven't come out and said this is the specific problem.
Right.
So I don't. Is it a DLAM issue? Is it a breakage issue? Or what exactly is happening?
So, from what I understand, it won't blow up, but it does crack.
Okay.
Whether it completely snaps in half, I don't know, but there is a DLAM crack that happens.
Okay. All right. So I agree with you saying if Matthews had said, listen, it's 3% of the bows. So like you said, 1,000, if it's 1,000 bows,
right,
3% of 1,000 is only 30.
Yeah, it's only 30. It's not even 300.
It's 30 bows.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to bring in 1,000 bows just to find the 30 that are bad. You know what I mean?
No.
But I would be happy if they said, hey, listen, anyone who has one, if you're nervous, send it in. We'll take care of it for you.
But like I said, all they have to do is because those limbs are numbered when they come out of batches.
Yeah.
And they go with the serial number. Okay, hey, that batch number was this.
Right.
It's attached to these serial numbers.
Yes.
So
they know exactly which bows
they know who has them.
Could possibly have an issue.
Right. So hey, listen, if you, Mr. Dealer, still have it in stock, you did not sell it yet, send it back and we're just going to swap the limbs for you.
Yeah.
Or, hey, if you can reach out to the customer that bought that serial number and just, here's a letter that from me, Matt McPherson, if you would like to send your bow back, we're offering a voluntary recall. If you feel nervous that limb can break, send it back. We'll get it taken care of.
No, I agree with that.
You know, instead of this, because in my eyes, this is just telling me they know it's going to happen at some point.
I think it's just trying to give people peace of mind so that if it does happen.
Sure. But they're covering
it.
They just chose really bad terms to use in a warranty that says, hey, it's only happening in this many bows.
Yeah.
But we're going to just extend the warranty to anybody that owns the bow from here on out.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
So I don't know. I listen, I don't have the venom that you have towards Matthew. So, I get it. You're just, any little crack in their armor, you're going after.
Absolutely.
Them. I get that.
Absolutely.
I do agree that they could have gone about it a different way and offered people to come and, swap them out. If you're nervous, we'll swap them out for you. But I also understand that it's, 30 bows out of 1,000. Yeah, I don't know. And again, we're looking at it from a customer service standpoint. They're looking at it from a business standpoint. So they're going to say, okay, how much money are we willing to invest to get all these bows back here, swap them all out, as opposed to, we'll just kind of deal with it as they show up. Right. And this is not just Matthews. This is the way these corporations operate.
Well, sure.
I deal with it in my business.
So, and this is the reason I think it bothers me so much. Okay. Every bow manufacturer, somebody on my post commented, every bow manufacturer deals with an issue in some way, somehow, sometime.
Yeah.
And that person works in the industry as long, if not longer than I have, works for a bow manufacturer. So he gets it.
Yeah.
The issue I had when I posted this, I didn't put a copy of the letter up. I could have. They literally came out and started bashing other companies because I was, quote unquote, picking on Matthews.
Yeah.
So the very first comment was a comment about Athens. Yes, Athens had a lifetime warranty. Obviously, when you go out of business because you're sued by a company for no reason, you're going to not have a lifetime warranty anymore.
Yeah.
Company's gone.
Yeah.
Another one was about PSE. Another one was about, I don't even remember who the other company was. But the whole recall deal, you know, where if they would have just said, because this is their numbers they're throwing out there. 3% of the bows.
Yeah.
70 and 80 pound limbs. Mm-hmm. So there's not that many out there if it's 3%. So,
well, I'm not sure. I mean, how many lifts did they produce this year? I don't know.
I don't know either, but there can't be that many in 70 and 80 pound. It's happening, I guess, more in the 80 pound limb.
Okay. But I think 70, I mean, that's probably the most popular one, I would imagine, the 70 pound limb. Don't you think?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, what in your shop, what do you do? Do you have
65 is usually our top seller.
Okay.
I've had 2 70-pound bows in this year. That was it.
Does Matthews produce a 65?
Everything is done by a switch mod. So technically, it can happen on any limb.
Right. So it's the same. So it's the same limb, basically.
Right.
So I think most of the Matthews bows then have those limbs.
Right. Well, all the lifts are going to have those limbs.
Right. So
it's the ones that go out with a 70 or 80 pound switch mod.
So there's probably tens of thousands of them out there.
I don't know about tens of thousands, but.
Well, I mean, Matthews does 300,000 bows a year.
Right. But
so
don't forget, you have
those are lifts.
All of their mission bows, all of their titles.
Yes.
You know, yada, 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 yada.
But out of 300,000 bows, I guarantee you it's 10,000 or more lifts.
Still.
It's just a lot.
So here, for instance, this just happened last year, and this is what we didn't think about it with the recall deal.
Yeah.
So Raven crossbows. Everybody knows who Raven crossbows are. The number one selling crossbow in the market.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're the Matthews of crossbows.
Yep.
Last year, they came out with a limb design that after a little while, people were having these bows just explode.
Yeah.
At rest, shooting it didn't matter. They were exploding.
Yeah.
So rather than do something like this, they said, listen, we can't say that it will happen to every bow.
Right.
But if you want to send it in, we will replace the entire head unit of the bow.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. Here you go.
Yeah. Well,
that's all they had to do. It doesn't put any money out of their pocket for a customer to ship that bow to them.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't. Because if they're already telling you they're going to fix it, the customer ships the bow in. The customer's not getting that money back.
Okay.
So Matthews fixes it.
So they're shipping it back to them, though.
Right.
But I think the difference is, especially with a crossbow, that Raven, when the Raven explodes, now there is the chance of physical damage to you. You know, that thing is right by someone's
100%.
face. So in that situation, Raven is going to say, wait a second, if somebody gets hurt, this is a big problem. Mm-hmm. Now, instead of just replacing a few $100s for the head unit on a bow, now we're talking about lawsuits for could be a fatality, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. So it's a different situation. You know, if the Matthews were exploding in people's hands, they would have handled this differently.
But
so
still,
I think that's something to be said.
It is, and I'm not taking it away that they're getting behind their screw up.
Yeah.
But word it differently. So like Raven, yes, lawsuits cost a lot of money. We had a customer that had a string snap while he was shooting it, sliced his hand open, and he was in a sue Raven.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunate shit happens, as they say.
Yes.
Not that it's great that it happened, but it happens.
Yeah.
But Raven could have went all the way through this and just went, nope, you got to send all the bows back.
Yeah.
They made it voluntary. Because it wasn't every bow.
Right.
So, hey, if you feel that you would want to send your bow in, we'll swap it. No questions asked. We'll get it all straightened up. Here you go.
And then that's what I had said earlier about Matthews. If they had done that, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives people peace of mind.
Right.
Now, Raven did that to cover themselves because they put it out there. Here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to send it in, we'll take care of it.
Right.
So if Joe Blow does not send his bow back, he chooses not to, and it explodes in his face.
Right.
Now it's on him.
What?
Because we gave you the opportunity, you just chose not to do it.
Right.
And that was just, Raven's corporate lawyers covering themselves, saying, hey, we need to do this, this, and this to cover ourselves. If they take advantage of it, great. If not, then they're on their own.
Right.
But I will say though that, and I don't know this for sure, but I would bet if you owned a lift and you brought it in to the shop, to a shop, and you said, listen, I'm not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I want Matthews to replace these limbs for me.
Well, I'm sure they will.
I'm sure Matthews would go ahead and change the limbs for you. No questions asked, and here you go.
100%.
So
it was the more that I got into this in the post, buddies of mine were texting me and whatnot because of these, again, fanboys were going batshit crazy. But somebody had said that if any other company had done this, they'd go out of business. And that's
not true.
I was like dumbfounded when I read the comment.
That's just not true. This happens. Listen, every single bow manufacturer has had an issue.
Yep.
From the beginning of bows, right?
100%.
Every single one.
I had a PSE crack while I was climbing in my tree stand last year.
Yeah. Right.
So the shit happens.
Yes.
But the companies will take care of it. That's why as I said in my comment back to them, 98 to 99.9% of every archery bow manufacturer has some sort of limited lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
So, granted, it's not transferable, as Matthews now is on a lift.
Are any of them? Does anybody give you a transferable?
The only one that used to was Martin.
Okay.
It didn't matter who owned the freaking Martin bow.
Right.
It was always under warranty.
I think Oregon might have had that too.
Yeah. And so did High Country.
Okay.
So, but that's where you get the issues start coming.
Yeah.
Because I sell it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I dropped it out of my tree stand.
Yeah.
You draw it back.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got a 10-year-old lift to replacing limbs on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where it's going to start costing them money down the road when Joe Schmo bought it from Timmy and Bob and Mark.
Yes.
And now he's got it and
yes.
Well, shit, the limbs broke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, one guy left it in his car. It was 125 degrees in the car. And, who knows what happened to it and where it went.
Right. So we pulled up some of the major manufacturers. So Hoyt is a limited lifetime and it applies to the person who first bought the product. It states right in their warranty. This warranty is not transferable.
Yeah.
What it covers: you must purchase from a genuine Hoyt retailer. You must provide the original data proof of purchase. You must register your bow within 30 days of that purchase. And your bow must have its original serial number factory attached to the bow. And that protects the compound bow riser, limbs, limb pockets, cams, subject to the conditions stated below, which I just read you.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty standard right across the board. Basically, if they built the bow and something between the cams, the riser, the limbs, or the limb pockets break, not from you dropping out of a tree stand, knocking it over while you're on the target range, running it over with a vehicle, it's covered.
Right.
While you own the bow.
Right.
So pretty standard.
Yep.
Bowtech, limited lifetime warranty. All Bowtech bows come with a non-transferable lifetime warranty to the registered original owner.
Yeah.
Going to cover the same crap that Hoyt does, but it doesn't pass on to anybody.
Yeah.
So, again, same exact warranty. Elite stands behind the workmanship and overall quality of the bows through limited lifetime warranty to the original owner.
Yeah.
Again, not transferable.
Yep.
But Elite takes it one step further, and this is where I really wanted to, I was getting aggravated. I was reading some of the comments. So somebody had said that I was mad because Matthews extended their warranty. Now, I'm not mad that they extended their warranty. I think it's dumb the way they did it. So Elite, like Athens used to, has a hunt guarantee.
Right.
So if you are a Elite bow owner and you are on a paid hunt, so it's not a DIY deal. You're at an outfitter somewhere, and your bow, something happens to it, and you can't finish your hunt. If you call them, they will send you a fully set up bow to your location, to the lodge.
Yeah.
As closely as set up as possible to you as your original bow.
Mm-hmm.
All they do is hold your credit card number so that make sure you're going to send that bow back.
Yeah.
and then you can send your bow to them to get fixed for whatever happened.
Yeah.
Nobody else offers that currently.
No, that's awesome.
Yep.
And they took that from Athens.
Correct.
But Athens was actually a better deal because you did not have to be an Athens
bow owner.
You could send your Matthews or your Bowtech in. Well, you didn't have to send it to them. You could be a Bowtech or a Matthews shooter.
Right.
Bust your bow, lose your bow, whatever it may be. You call Jim and Tracy, they're going to send you a bow.
Right.
And then, you deal with your, your other brand, whenever you get home.
Sure.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
But see, and this is my next point. So Jim and Tracy started that with Athens, and Elite saw that and said, wow, that's an awesome idea. They kind of just picked up and ran with that.
Right.
And I think the same thing will happen eventually. You're going to see one bow manufacturer, whoever it may be, is going to say, we have a lifetime warranty, no questions asked. I don't care if you're the first owner or the third owner, we're going to cover it. And once somebody does that, then they're all going to follow suit. Then they have to follow suit. They're all just going to jump on board. So it's going to take that one company to do that.
Right.
And it's just a matter of time before someone does that. And which honestly, they should do it anyway.
Sure.
Because, a lot of these bows and, dealing with used bows, that's like one of the first questions. Well, is it registered?
Right.
Yeah, it's registered. Okay, well, then my warranty's out the window.
Yeah.
It's not registered. Okay, now that's worth more money because now I can register when I buy it from you. So I don't agree with the fact that they can sell a bow. So a guy uses it for a month and decides, this isn't for me. I'm going to sell it to somebody. And that guy, the new owner, has a 1-month-old bow with no warranty on it.
Yep.
That bothers me. That's not the way it is with firearms.
Nope.
I can take my 30-year-old Glock, send it to Glock in Georgia, and they're going to send me a fully repaired firearm. So I don't agree with that. I think that will change. I think eventually someone is going to step up to the plate, and then they're all going to follow suit.
Right. So, and I'm glad you brought that up. So this, again, goes back to this Matthews extended warranty. So this is only on the lift.
Right.
So if you want a V3, V3X, a Phase 4, screw you. So all you got is lifetime warranty. That's it.
Yeah.
Once you sell it, the next guy has nothing.
Yep.
So again, much better ways to go about this. And this is why I made the post the other day. But then people aggravated me. So now I got to talk about it. So then we go to Prime. Doug's a Prime shooter, so he's very familiar with this. Limited lifetime warranty. Your Prime bow is covered from any manufacturer's defect on the riser, limbs, cams, cable guard system for the life of the bow to the original owner.
Yeah.
Now they take it a step further. Hey, every 2 years, we're going to send you a free freaking set of strings.
Yep.
Okay. That's $140. So yeah, only one guy gets the warranty. But if you have the bow for 2 years, you don't have to buy strings ever for life.
Right.
So why not, why not have somebody else come up with that? So that's, again, this is Prime's deal, is the free strings.
Yeah.
Elite, now that Athens is gone, unfortunately, they have the hunt guarantee.
Right.
So now, where's all the big players? The big guys, Matthews, Hoyt, Bowtech. They don't have any of that.
No. And I think the reason is they don't have to. Prime I get. Prime is a little guy trying to catch up to the big boys, and they're just trying to find something that will kind of maybe sway somebody that's on the fence.
Yep.
And to me, that's a great deal. So the other guys, Matthews doesn't need to do any kind of gimmick.
Yeah, but Elite doesn't either.
Well, Elite's not in the same class as Matthews and Hoyt and Bowtech.
They're not going to be 300,000 bows a year.
No.
But they've been around just as long as Matthews.
They have been, but that tells you something. They've been around just as long. Mm-hmm. They sell half the amount of bows.
That's okay.
I'm just saying,
all those guys shooting our bows.
No, and the Elite is a fantastic bow, but I'm just saying that the big boys don't need to have a gimmick.
Well, and I'm not saying it's a gimmick. I mean, obviously, Elite just started that a couple of years ago. They never had that. Their biggest thing was the shootability challenge.
Right. Oh, that's not this year?
No, that's from when I worked for Elite years ago.
No, I'm talking about the Save the Hunt.
Oh, what was it this year or last year?
Yeah, I'm saying that's brand new.
Yeah. And I forgot, Prime offers the tune-up program.
Yes. So
here's somebody, and granted, small company, but they don't have to do this. but they do it anyway. So 6 months, within 6 months of your purchase of a bow from a registered prime dealer, they'll pay me to tune your bow.
Yeah.
They have it spec'd out to what hours it is, and they send me that.
Right.
Same thing with the strings. They'll send me a check or credit my account for installing a string based on what my rate is to install a string.
Okay, which that's actually nice.
Right.
Because I know that in my business, if I have to warranty a part, my manufacturer will send me the part.
Right.
I have to eat that labor. Yep. I've got to go to the job site. I've got to replace the part. That's on me.
Right.
So it's kind of aggravating sometimes. So,
so now
that's great though that they will reimburse, just kind of like a car dealer, right? I mean,
GM.
Yeah. If GM has an issue,
or you guys tied up for 5 hours,
yes, they're getting paid for that. Yeah. They're getting paid for that. So
now Raven doesn't reimburse us. They'll send us the parts.
Yeah.
Now I had a guy run one over with a truck and they sent him a brand new bow.
Yeah.
But it's in their manual that all your warranty parts are covered.
Yeah.
But the rate of the dealer, whatever we have to do to make it right, now we can choose to eat it.
Right.
Normally, if it's something stupid, I do.
Yeah.
But, if I got to rip apart a whole crossbow and put new limbs on it and restring it,
that's a lot of time.
That's a couple hours. I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't pay for the $400 set of limbs.
Right.
But you got to pay me the $100 and something to put it all back together for me.
Yes. And, it's a hard ask on the customer.
Sure.
So I went through that with my Bowtech. A few years ago. The little set screw on the deadlock system, the one that you tighten or loosen to move the cam.
Right.
That stripped.
Okay.
So brought it down to the dealer. The dealer I'm talking about. And no problem. Bowtech actually, I think within 3 days they had the new part at the shop.
Right.
And they took it apart. They actually gave me a whole new cam because that deadlock system is not individual. You can take it off.
It's all one piece.
Yeah. So they sent me a whole new cam and that was for free, but I did have to pay the shop.
Right.
It wasn't a lot. It was like an hour's worth of time.
Yeah, sure.
But I had to pay the shop to do it. Now, granted, I guess it doesn't matter that bow was probably at that point maybe 4 years old. So I get it. As I wasn't too upset over it. If it was a brand new bow, I'd probably have something to say.
Right.
But then maybe they wouldn't have charged me. I'm not sure how that works, but I don't like the fact that you've got to pay for the parts. I'm sorry, pay for the labor to install the parts.
Sure.
But that's just me bitching. And that's not only is it industry wide, that's kind of like globally. That's just the way these guys operate. All these companies,
right?
Whether it's a bow company or it's a whatever it may be, that's just the way they operate. So
right. So now this brings us to the best comment that I had on the post was from another shop owner, and they are a Matthews dealer.
Okay.
Received their letter. They have 4 or 5 brand new lifts sitting on their rack, and now nobody wants to look at them.
Right.
Well, shit, I don't want to buy that if the limb could possibly break on it.
Yeah.
So now these guys are upset because what's Matthews going to do for them?
Well, and like I said before, I bet if that owner shipped everything back to Matthews, they'd probably swap out the limbs for him. Say, listen, I can't. These things are sitting on my shelf and no one's looking at them.
Good, but
I need new limbs on here.
Right.
And then you could advertise it that way.
Right. You
updated
can.
Limbs, whatever. Say whatever you want.
Now that's the customer taking my word for it that I sent them back to get new limbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it still has a lifetime warranty.
True.
So,
but
if you're going to lie, you have to have a little confidence in your dealer if he's going to, that he's telling you the truth.
Well, 100%.
That goes with anything. You could, you have to have a little bit of faith in him.
But let me see if I can find exactly what the post was or what the comment was. Because
was it on your thread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. That should be the very last comment. So we have 8 bows sitting on our wall that no one wants to touch. Not only did we receive them a couple months before the season, but with the issues going around, no one wants to buy them.
Yeah.
Then they would just come out with another bow that we will not be stocking in full because of the crap still on the wall. I'll be impressed with Matthews when they compensate dealers for the bows they can't sell, pay dealers for the warranty work so it's not put on the dealer or customer for the labor cost. No one wants to buy a bow right now before the season that can break, not at that price point.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree. And it's funny, like, going back to MFJJ, Josh said, this is my bow, and I'm going to be hunting with it. In fact, I'm leaving next week to go on an antelope hunt with it,
right.
And I am not worried in the least.
Right.
So,
again, that would be like me saying, I have this bow. It could possibly break. Yeah. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But he probably has 2 other bow cases in that truck.
So yes, it's Josh. It's not,
right.
You or I. So yes, he probably has other bows that if it does, okay,
right.
plan B.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, we'll sure something
take out. Yeah,
right.
I take out the other one. So no doubt about it.
But from what I understand is they are the ones that brought this to Matt McPherson's attention.
Well, they who?
MFJJ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had 2 bows do it.
Okay. And listen, Josh probably is one of the top dealers, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
So he sells a shit ton of these things. So he has a better idea.
Right.
For the small shop that sells 3 or 4 of them.
Right. They may never see it.
They might never see it. But you get a shop that's selling 100 of them.
Right.
Now you're going to start to see things.
So the other issue, and so when I first saw the letter, I didn't know what the issue was.
And that's what I said. I
didn't know. So I knew of 2 issues. I knew because of phase 4 issues they had last year. They did the same thing with the lift, and obviously whatever they did in production, there's a weak spot somewhere.
They did have an issue with the phase 4.
Yep.
Okay.
But then I had somebody just talk to me the other day about a bearing issue in their cams.
Okay.
Where bearings were installed backwards. And you spit a bearing out. That's not good.
No. Not good at all.
That's basically how the bow works.
Yeah.
So there might be other issues underlying that they just haven't been brought to the forefront yet.
Yeah.
So, now I want to see if that becomes a severe issue where it's more than a bow here or a bow there, that all of a sudden is spitting bearings.
Yeah.
Okay, not only do you have a weak limb or limbs, but now it's a chance you could spit a bearing.
Yeah.
And either 2 things can happen. 1, it'll still shoot, but it won't redraw again.
Yeah.
Or 2, it's going to lock itself out.
Right. Right.
For a lot of guys, hunting season starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the chance of taking that bow out there and not knowing for sure?
No doubt. Listen, it's always in the back of your head. Is this the draw?
Right.
Is this the one that this thing is going to let loose?
Yep.
I guess. I mean,
if there's anybody that can attest to it, it could be me. I remember, you remember this.
Yeah.
When I had my expedition. And going into Worlds, I restrung the bow for Worlds.
Yep.
Realized my top cam was bent.
Yeah.
The engineer himself told me it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't a slight bend. This was bent.
It was bent, yeah.
And I shot 40 targets at Worlds with a severely bent cam.
With no issues.
With no problem.
Yeah.
But every freaking shot.
Yes, it's in the back.
In my head, I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is this the one?
Don't go.
Right. Is this the one? No doubt.
So.
Yeah, because especially in a situation like that, it could derail pretty easily. I'm shocked it didn't, honestly, because after seeing that cam, I don't know how it didn't derail.
Right.
And you know what? I find that strange, looking back, just as you're talking about this again, I find it really strange that the engineer would say, go ahead and shoot it. Because if that thing blows up in your face, now, dude, you told me to go ahead and shoot this thing, and I'm missing an eye.
Right.
Now what? Yep. That's me.
So after the whole ordeal, I shot Worlds, and the bow shot. I mean, I had a couple of rough shots, but
I
held up.
It shot well. Yeah.
And I sent it back because they did send me a new cam.
Yeah.
I sent it back, and that particular batch of cams didn't harden correctly.
Okay.
So I didn't do anything. I didn't dry fire the bow. I didn't drop it.
Yeah.
It was literally from shooting the bow.
Yeah.
It was a soft metal and it just kept bending the more I shot it.
Yeah.
And that was my competition bow. So it had a lot of shots on it.
Yeah.
But he was confident that nothing would happen after seeing it.
Right.
And that's the difference. It's like they didn't freak out and be like, oh my God, we got to do this, we got to do that. It was, dude, trust me, you can shoot it.
Yeah. Well, they've seen it before.
Right.
There was an issue and they've seen it before.
Yep. And he's like, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So, that's what I did. But yeah, it does suck. Every time you draw the bow, you're like, oh my God, this blows up. This is gonna be horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about that.
But competition is one thing. I'm shooting a piece of foam. You paid to go on a hunt somewhere, you flew out of state, you did whatever, and
no doubt.
Maybe you don't have a backup bow, and poof, you make that one draw and crack.
Yes.
There it goes.
And listen, that could happen with any bow.
Absolutely.
Even a bow that, certain model that's never had any issues, you could be the first one.
Right.
So that's just...
And that's the difference is you could be the first one because it never happened before.
Right.
But in this case, we know this happened.
No doubt.
So now that's all that would be on my mind.
Yeah.
If you're chasing elk or antelope or whatever and you spend a whole bunch of money on a trip.
Yeah.
That's not the bow I want to be taking out there.
No. Well, and I mean, we had the luxury of being able to have multiple bows. So you don't travel cross country without a backup bow.
Correct.
And this kind of just, fortifies that. But, you do not.
I'm going to give you a perfect example of something. So this is pretty funny that you just said that. So we have very close friends here in PA that have a great organization, and there was a handful of them going to Africa on a hunt.
Okay.
One of the hunters was in the shop 4 times before he left because the bow kept coming out of tune. We narrowed it down and got it fixed, but he went to Africa with one bow.
That's crazy. Knowing that there was an issue.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So there's just, unfortunately, there's some people that can't afford 2 bows or don't have the ability to have 2 bows.
However, the guy hunting in his yard is one thing. If you're traveling to Africa,
Africa's a little different.
You can afford to have a backup bow.
I know plenty of guys that go to Kansas, Illinois, Montana, Colorado, whatever, where they save up, all year to pay for the trip.
Oh, they save up multiple years. It could be 5 years.
So there's definitely guys going there with one bow.
Yeah.
We took guys to Illinois a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I always have 2 bows.
Yeah.
There were guys on that trip that only had one bow.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure I was going to have to use my backup the first year because I dropped mine out of a tree stand.
Yeah.
My bow hook let go and that was it. Thank God it was okay. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with that subject. But my main reason behind my post was because I've been in the industry a long time. I applaud them for standing behind their product.
Yeah.
I just think they went about it the wrong way. So that's why I made the post. And for everybody that took it just because I was jabbing at Matthews, I was jabbing at them because they're Matthews.
Yeah, that's just what you do.
But I was doing it in a fashion of, I also own a business. Doug also owns a business. If it was me, I would have done it differently.
Yeah.
So again, great that they stand behind the product. They should. They built it. But I think they just could have done a better job of fixing the situation than the way they did it.
Yeah.
So,
well, we'll see how this progresses. It's all, it's still fairly new.
Yeah, the letter went out. So I guess it must have shipped or mailed.
Yeah.
Or emailed sometime between Friday and Monday.
Yeah. So it's all fairly new. Guys in this, in the Matthews circle, there's been news floating around and, shops talking about it, and maybe some guys are talking. Now it's out in the open. Now it's public knowledge that there is an issue. So now we get to see how this affects the sale of the lift. Are these shops sitting on these bows now? Because this is it now. This is crunch time.
Right. Well, and that's
you don't sell that bow now, it's not gonna. You're not gonna sell it.
No, because they're gonna come out with their new bow.
Yes.
In a month or 2.
Yes. So this is it.
Right.
And like you said before, if I go to a shop and there's 3 or 4 different choices of a bow that I'm thinking about plunking down $2,500 for when it's all said and done. Am I going to take the one on the right that I know has no issues, or to take the one on the left that there are issues and I might have an issue?
Hopefully it won't be mine, but it could be.
Right. So that is an issue.
Yep.
And hopefully,
and that's the downfall with and I feel bad for Matthews dealers for the amount of bows they have to buy. It's retarded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I do feel bad for them because my goal, this, is I don't want leftovers.
Yeah.
I don't want a 2024 bow in 2025.
Yeah.
I have 9 bows left in the shop.
Okay.
And I did call Elite the other day and I said, listen, send me 2, one ethos, one Kairos.
Yeah.
And just so I have them there.
Yeah.
I don't have to special order anything.
Yeah.
But that's, right now going into the season, if somebody wants a specific color or whatever, we're ordering it if it's not something I have in the shop.
Yeah.
Because I don't want stock sitting for next year because now.
And it will be.
Right. Now I have to discount it because the new bow's out.
Yeah.
I've already had the new bow and it's, we sold it, thank God. And it's a great bow, so I'm not going to have an issue selling them. But we had the Exalt, that's already sold.
Yeah.
But, that's the downfall. In that particular case, who commented on my post, they got 8 bows in the shop that no one wants to look at now because it's like, well, how do I know that one won't break the first day of the season and I have the biggest buck of my life standing in front of me and I draw it back and it snaps?
No doubt. So, no doubt. So that's hopeful. Listen, hopefully Matthews will take care of their dealers.
Yep.
And, if a dealer makes enough noise, they will probably help him out and take care of it, And a dealer he can kind of, advertise that, hey, all of my lifts have been redone.
Right. We swapped all the lifts ones all over.
And that's another thing too. Like Josh, MFJJ was on his post, he was talking about some of the dealers might not be switching all of the limbs. So there might be the issue again, like some guys are complaining, well, Matthews fixed my bow and it happened again.
Right.
And that's when Josh said, well, you have to change all 4 limbs. Yeah. You can't just change one of the,
one or 2 or whatever. If a factory sends you 4 limbs, you get 4 limbs on the bow.
Exactly. So that could be an issue too. So that's why there might have been multiple issues with one bow.
Right.
Because a guy only changed the one that actually cracked and not all 4. So,
and I don't think, it's as a dealer and the way technology works nowadays, you can't do that anymore. Like way back in the day, you had a Jennings bow.
Yeah.
My top limb broke, my bottom limb didn't.
Right.
Okay, we're just going to flop out the top limb.
Right.
You could do that back then.
Yeah.
Now you can't.
Yeah.
That's like, if you look at limbs on any brand bow,
it's a set.
There's deflections numbers on there.
Yeah.
They're stamped into the laminate.
Yeah.
And they have to be in the right spots. I've seen dealers put the wrong deflection on the wrong side of the bow, and so people can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, that deflection is there for a specific reason.
Yeah.
So if you change out one limb and maybe you weren't paying attention and grabbed the wrong deflection, well, that can make things even worse.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So, but what you have, if no matter what, crossbow, vertical bow, you got a cracked limb, you change out all the limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because you got to take the whole bow apart to do it, but it has to be done. You can't halfway do it.
Yeah.
So, but so that was my 2 cents, my getting fired up about it. And, Doug had the points, and that's why I wanted to talk about it because again, I'm seeing it as somebody who's been in the industry forever. I've seen a whole bunch of different bows break, and it all comes down to the way that the company words how they're going to take care of it to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one, when the guy comes in, if it's an Elite, a PSE, a Prime, a Bear, and comes into me, I have to be able to explain it to them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a Matthews dealer that has to go, well, listen, they'll fix it, but they added a warranty so that if you sell it to your cousin 3 years from now, he'll still have the warranty just in case it never breaks.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part as a dealer when you're trying to explain to the customer what's Matthews going to do.
Yeah.
So now granted, if you call up and say, hey, listen, I have a lift and I'm nervous Will they replace it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Yeah.
Because, listen, all of these companies, every bow manufacturer is going to have an issue. It's all about how you react to the issue. And that's what's going to keep Matthews, their good name going forward.
And in the letter, he said, hey, listen, we found what we screwed up on.
Yeah.
We found what happened.
Yeah.
And we fixed it.
Yeah.
But, and that's, if he would have not put the but in there and would have just said, hey, we fixed the problem in-house. We found out what was wrong.
Yeah.
If you feel like you may have a lift that has the issue, send it back in.
Yeah.
Not, hey, we fixed it, but this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're not a Matthews dealer, so you don't know exactly what was said, but maybe it'd be a good thing to reach out to one of your buddies that is a Matthews dealer and say, hey, what did Matt say to you? If I come in and say, hey, I've got these 2 bows on the wall, I can't sell them. Well, let's see. I'm curious to see what Matthews will do for them.
I had a conversation with this person yesterday. They are a dealer located in the southern part of the country.
Okay.
A very gigantic dealer of Matthews.
Okay.
Like one of the top 5.
Okay.
Basically, if it ain't broke, they ain't fixing it.
Yeah. And I get that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You've been hearing that since you're 5 years old.
Yep.
Right. So I get it.
I get it too.
I get it.
But how does that make you feel as a customer? As, hey, I have this bow, it could break.
Yeah.
But I can't do shit until it breaks.
Yeah. Well, and
you know what I mean?
like that, but that's kind of the deal with everything, right? I mean, that's just the way it is with all manufacturing. Your truck could break down tomorrow, and you can't bring it back to the dealer and say, well, I'm not confident that bearing is going to be good for 100,000 miles. Change it now. No, we'll deal with it when it breaks.
But that's, that's the hard part is maybe, I just went through something very similar. I got an issue with suspension on my truck.
That's why I brought it up.
And,
they're not going to replace the entire suspension on your truck.
Right. So, but this was the second time. I was kind of nice about it the first time. The second time,
yeah.
And I said, but you gotta fix something. Like last time, it was they unloosened some bolts, tightened some bolts back up.
Yeah.
And GM doesn't see this problem on all of the style truck that I have.
Right.
But they've seen it.
Right.
So
it's kind of the same deal.
We're gonna change out your dampeners in your springs. And that's how we're going to mediate the problem. If it keeps coming back, now we're going to do something different.
Right, then you go plan B.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but in this case, they know there's a problem.
Yeah.
They fixed it in-house.
Yeah.
But they're not, if the customer comes in and goes, I want the new limbs on my lift.
Yeah.
Well, sir, your limbs aren't broken.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Well, they won't fix them unless they're broken.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. That is
the difference. And I think the fact that it's only 3% makes a difference. If it was 20%, 30%, 40% of the bows, then I think you'd see a mass recall and they would just change it out.
Right.
It's hard to, for 30 bows out of 1,000, it's hard to change 997 bows that don't, well, not 970 bows that don't have a problem.
Right.
So I get it. And it's a tough spot.
It is. It's, you got to put the toe on the other, one side of the line or the other.
Yeah.
But so what surprises me, and I have to reach back out to my guy because the Title, which is their target bow.
Yeah.
Has very similar limbs on it.
Okay.
Now, granted, I don't know that there's maybe Danny McCarthy shooting a 70-pound freaking Title.
Yeah.
But most guys are not going to shoot a target bow 70 or 80 pounds.
Right.
But why is it? What I'm dying to find out is what is causing it, and it's only in 70 and 80 pound bows.
Right.
Why is it that? Wait, why isn't it a 50 pound bow?
Right.
Why isn't it a 40 pound bow?
And that's what I said in the beginning. I don't know exactly what the issue is. There's a limb. They're saying it's a limb issue.
Yeah.
But they're not being specific and saying in this particular, particular spot, right? Or this. In this limb, it happens. In this limb, it doesn't happen.
Right.
If you've got a 60-pound limb, don't worry about it.
Right.
We have never had an issue with a 60.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were a Matthews shooter, I'd want to be a little, I have a little more information and let them be a little more specific. So I could kind of, and then you could actually focus on it. If I knew exactly where, listen, this is going to crack 3 inches from the limb pocket. This is where it's happening. Right. I could kind of pay attention to it. And, after every 10, 12 shots, I can look at it and say, okay, this is the spot I'm looking for. But I don't think that's the case. Again, I'm not in the Matthews loop.
No,
I don't know what's floating around.
What I've seen out there that says it's right here.
Yeah, and that would be helpful, I think. This guys could really pay attention.
And because that's like obviously with their the way they mount up the cams to the limbs last year with the Phase 4, I'm wondering if it's there, closer to there, because now it's out on the limb. It's not through the limb anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe the actual force of a 70 or 80 pound bow, as it's drawing, spinning the cam back, it's putting too much pressure on that limb tip because they squared it.
That's where all the flexing is, right?
Right.
So,
and they squared it. So it used to have like that little taper, and now it's not. It's squared.
Yeah.
So is it there? Is it in the limb pocket itself, and that's why it's not falling apart? It's just cracking.
Right.
So yeah, if anybody has a picture and your bow unfortunately was susceptible to said lift issue, send us a picture of it. We'd love to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my 2 cents, and I didn't go as bad. That was nice.
No, you were fairly
nice.
Yeah. Again, I don't have the venom towards Matthews.
And it's not even a venom. It just drives me nuts. And it was so funny to hear this person tell me the same thing I've thought for years.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it to them.
Yeah.
Like they said it to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, why can't other people just see it?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, they're a marketing company that produces bows. But, I mean, they produce a great bow.
Yeah.
Listen, the proof is in the pudding. I don't shoot Matthews. In fact, I've never owned a Matthews. I have shot them, and they've never made the cut. Like when I shoot 3 or 4 at a shot, I've always kind of shied away from them just because I don't like the draw cycle.
Right.
But I mean, you can't.
And that's where, you hit it on the head right there. Bang. So I can't say they make a great bow, but the draw cycle sucks.
There's millions of guys that say it's a great bow.
Right.
So they're doing something right.
Marketing this shit up. They anyway. I would say they make a intermediately okay product.
See,
with a horrible draw cycle.
Okay. Again, I don't like the draw cycle, but you can't argue. They've been around a long time. There's millions of guys that shoot Matthews and guys that love them. I don't look at Matthews and say that bow is worse than that bow. They're all great bows. It's just preference.
Yeah.
So,
and again, the biggest thing that aggravated me about this one was once I made the post, and I wasn't mean, I wasn't anything.
Yeah.
And just the way. And every company has fanboys, but even I shoot for Elite and I have to post, but all I do is post pictures and tag Elite.
Yeah,
I don't the best bows ever made. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But these guys, just swear to God, it was like the Pope.
Yeah, I get it. But that's not. I get that, and it's not just Matthews.
It's not. No,
There's fanboys for every manufacturer.
Come out a lot harder than any other fanboy club.
Okay.
When it's a Matthews.
Kind of like the Cowboy fans.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example.
I get it.
So, and I'm a Bears fan, so we suck. Maybe we'll have a shot this year. So, yeah. But no. So that's what aggravated me the most about this one. I was making an opinion from being in the industry so long, the way that this was worded.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, it was like World War III.
Yeah.
But
I think, listen, the bottom line is, I'm sure you feel the same way. Hopefully it all works out. Yeah. If you are a Matthews shooter and you do have the lift, hopefully you never have an issue. If you do have an issue, hopefully they resolve it quickly and, and you move on.
And I'm praying for you that doesn't happen during season. Just praying for you.
Yes. But, hopefully it all works out and they come up to a good resolution and we all move on. And the new bows will be out in 2 months.
That's the thing. And that's, new bows are going to start dropping. And like I said before, I am glad they're standing behind their product. Every person that comes into my shop, I literally have a guy that is a very good customer. He sends people to us all the time. And he tells them, listen, you shoot a Matthews, Greg's going to bust your chops when we get there.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I take it.
Yeah.
I don't care what bow any of my customers shoot. If it happens to be Matthews, yes, I will bust your chops.
Yeah.
I'm going to bust you no matter what. But that doesn't change the way I'm going to work on the bow. It doesn't change the way I'm going to treat you as a customer.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the people that commented on that post overlooked the fact that, yes, I will never, ever own a Matthews. I will never shoot a Matthews. That's me. I don't care what you shoot. It's like the whole political deal.
Yeah.
I can care less about this election this year. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about it. But that's how it is. It's like, oh, I'm a this person fan. I'm a that person fan. I don't care how much you love Matthews.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm giving you an opinion. And that's where I leave it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the customers get it. Like, they laugh, like they know, oh man, oh yeah, Billy told me you're going to bust me because I'm shooting Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of them get it.
Yeah.
AB doesn't. But, that's okay though. It's
like Ford and Chevy guys, Dodge guys. Like, don't go overboard.
Yeah.
You want to make some jokes here and there? Cool.
Yeah.
But don't take it like you own part of the company and you got to defend them.
Yeah.
That
was just a poke at you, AB. I still love you. It's nothing personal. Just poking at you. But yeah, like I said, hopefully in the end it all works out.
Yeah, and listen, I hope it is contained to whatever this percentage is that they're saying, and the bows that are gonna break already broke.
Yeah.
But if you're going to buy a lift, this is from a dealer. Shoot. If you go in, buy the bow, go in their range if they have a range, shoot 100 shots out of it, and if nothing happens, you should be okay according to him. So this is it happens like in the first 100 arrows, these things break.
Yeah.
So go out and shoot the crap out of it. That way you didn't even leave the shop yet. They can send it back.
You know what? Now, saying that, if I'm a Matthews shop owner, I'm shooting
every single bow.
I'm taking it into the range myself personally. Yep. I'm going to shoot the shit out of it, and let's see what happens. Because if it does have an issue, it comes right off the shelf and goes back to Matthews, and that's it.
Yep.
So if that is the case, where it's going to happen in the first 10 or 15 or 20 shots, then I would get 20 or 40 or 30 shot, whatever it may be, out of each one of those bows before I even sell it.
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah,
and that's, it can happen to any bow.
Yes.
It's just unexpected.
Yes.
So that's the key is, try to do your best to either induce it to happen or, do your best to help the customer that runs into the situation.
Yeah.
Because, again, unfortunately, peak season is right around the corner, and every factory will be up to their ears in new bows and trying to take care of stuff as it's coming through the door.
Yeah.
So middle of hunting season, it's going to take a bit. So do your best. This is as a shop owner, do your best. Like, whatever you have to try to do to make it happen, call favors in, whatever, to get that person back out in the woods.
Yeah.
So that they're not missing half of the season because they're waiting for parts to come in.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But other than that, we're going to call it a night, and we're going to have a couple guests coming on here in the next couple of weeks. One is actually a startup company. I didn't even talk to Doug about it because they just emailed me today, and I get to call them on Tuesday and line some stuff up.
Okay, cool.
So we'll have a couple cool special guests coming, and we'll go from there. But hunting season's right around the corner. I saw my brother-in-law was out tilling and seeding today while I was moving my son.
He actually texted me earlier. Yeah, he was asking me about the tiller. Yeah, I just told him, I said, I don't use a tiller just because my place is just so rocky.
Right.
It just doesn't work. So
put it on the ground.
Yeah, I use a rake. I use my landscape rake. And I do that. But Keith actually reached out.
He didn't have the big. I don't think he had the big tiller on in the pictures.
Okay.
Because I know he has the big tiller over there.
Okay. But he did say it's a little tough. Some of the rocky spots, it's really tough.
Yeah, because I know he was doing one of the back plots that we hadn't done in a while. So.
Okay.
But he did run over. We got over there the other night, and then I promise we'll leave. But I literally walked out to the backfield. He was mowing it.
Yeah.
And I just walked out into the clearing, and he didn't even see me yet, but he was coming down the far side of the field.
Yeah.
And I heard him hit something, and I saw something fly.
Oh, yeah.
That was a freaking antler.
Oh, was it?
And so I go running over, and he did. I don't know where the rest of it went, but I got parts of it.
Was it good?
It was a decent one. It wasn't great, but it was a good buck.
Yeah. Well, better to hit the mower than run it over with your tire.
Well, it was funny too, because where he hit that, I walked up and down there, because that is a trail that goes out to one of my stands.
Okay.
And I walked up and down right there and never saw it. Mower found it.
They always
came out in like 5 pieces.
Yeah, they always find them.
But
yeah.
Well, cool. Anyway, guys, until next time, we appreciate you. We'll see you guys, or talk to you guys, hopefully next Sunday, maybe not the 25th, because I'll be just coming back from a real long hike in the high peaks.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do Monday the 26th. We'll see what's happening.
The morning show.
The morning show. That's right. So until next time, we will talk to you guys soon. I'm Greg. That's
Doug.
And we are Huntcast Podcast. Talk to you soon.
See you.